see my banana?
Yeah, this really happened in Florida. Florida has spent decades convincing America that it's paradise. Sunshine, beaches, palm trees, retirees doing water aerobics at 9 a.m. But once you actually move there, you figure out pretty quick that Florida leaves out a few important details. Minor things like the weather's trying to sauté you, the wildlife is auditioning for horror movies, and home insurance quotes that make you think a van life retirement might be in your future. Today we're diving into the truth about living in Florida. And I don't mean the brochure version. I mean the stuff your cousin conveniently forgot to mention before he convinced you to rent an apartment in a swamp. This is the Florida you discover after the moving trucks leave and you're suddenly Googling things like, is this bug supposed to have wings? So grab a drink, hold off on that Ambient.
All right, Briggs, you have 20 minutes.
And let's count down the top 10 things about living in Florida nobody warned you about. Number 10, the Sunshine State of heat and humidity. People see Sunshine State and they think a warm, pleasant glow. Wrong. Florida's sunshine hits you like someone opened up the world's largest oven door directly on your face. Newcomers try and act tough the first week, then the humidity hits, and suddenly they're walking through Publix clutching a water bottle like it's their emotional support item. Even when winter hits, it doesn't help. Winter is just summer that overslept. The lack of shade in this state is legendary. Whoever designed their neighborhoods decided trees were only good for postcards, so you get these big, beautiful parks with all the sun exposure of a tanning bed cranked up to Florida setting. People try and plant shade trees, but then a hurricane politely removes them again. The locals adapt. They walk fast, park close, and treat air conditioning like a sacred blessing. You'll see them dash from their car to the building like they're reenacting a scene from an action movie. Only the brave walk anywhere after noon between May and October. Now, I've been to Florida several times in my life. One time for 6 months straight, the other times like 2-3 weeks at a time. I've had some winter months there. They weren't that wintry. Their November in Florida was like Southern California in September, with extra humidity. If you do move here, retire here, whatever you do, make sure you stay hydrated, make sure you wear a hat, and make sure you have a dermatologist look at any new moles you acquired. Number 9, Florida bugs are built different. Florida bugs aren't bugs, they're co-tenants, rent-free co-tenants. Palmetto bugs, for example, don't run from you. They look at you like you interrupted their dinner. They have wings also, and they always seem to use them at the exact wrong moment, usually when you're trying to maintain dignity in front of guests. Mosquitoes. Florida has mosquitoes that show up with ambition. They're the size of a tiny helicopter and have the attitude of someone who thinks you owe them money. They follow you inside, wait for you to turn off the lights, then launch an attack on your forehead at 2 a.m. So I visited Florida several times in my life, including living there for 6 months once. I'm not an expert, but I can tell you this is the second worst state for mosquitoes. I still believe Michigan is number 1. Then of course in Florida you have the random lizard. Cute, right? Until they sprint up your wall like they're late for a meeting. Every Floridian has at least one lizard that lives in their house rent-free. Some people even name them. It helps them cope with it. Point is, Florida bugs do not care about your personal space, ego, or sense of comfort. They run this place. They run the entire state. You're just paying for utilities. Number 8, the traffic isn't bad, it's biblical. People talk about LA traffic like it's the worst thing ever. Bless their hearts. Florida traffic is chaotic with a sunroof. There's no logic. You can drive in a normal flow, then suddenly you're surrounded by retirees doing 28 in a 45, out-of-staters doing 70 in your neighborhoods, and someone towing a boat even though they're nowhere near any water. And then, of course, there's a lady sitting in the driver's seat of that boat that's on a trailer on the interstate. Yes, I have personally seen that. She didn't look inebriated. She just looked like she was having a good time. Every highway is an emotional roller coaster. Turning left in Florida is a sport. You need courage, patience, and the reflexes of a caffeinated squirrel. Florida drivers treat turn signals like rare collectibles. Some have them, nobody uses them, and you'll never see one in the wild. The NTSB ranked the cities with the worst traffic, and of the top 20, 4 of them are in Florida. Miami is number 3. Tampa is number 12, Orlando is 14, and Jacksonville is 18. Just give you an idea how bad Miami is, here's some of the numbers that they add up to rank them. Their daily commute time is 29.8 minutes. That's the ninth highest in the United States. The average length of weekday congestion is 6 hours 31 minutes. That's third highest in the nation. Annual rate of fatal car crashes, 11.56 per 100,000 residents. That's the eighth highest. Now, they got some other ones that are less exciting, but overall, Miami ranks third in the nation. And they never tell you that. You won't find that on little brochures, and your realtor will never mention it to you. Number 7, the cost of living sneaks up on you. People move to Florida thinking they're escaping taxes and high costs. It's cute, very cute. Housing prices shoot up like they're trying to win awards. Insurance, good luck. Like I mentioned earlier, it's horrendous. You move to Florida, you get your homeowner's insurance quote, and you really start thinking about South Carolina. Rent isn't cheap either. Even older apartments that were built before the internet era have prices that suggest you're getting an oceanfront view and a complimentary massage every month. Spoiler, you're not. Groceries, expensive. Utilities, not as cheap as they make them sound. A lot of people seem to think that the utilities are extremely affordable in Florida, like they're one of the cheapest. They are not. They're ranked 14th in the country for the highest. Now, the state is financially sneaky. No income tax is a beautiful thing, but Floridians pay for it in other ways. Newcomers show up feeling financially confident, and 6 months later, they're Googling phrases like side hustles that won't ruin your marriage. Number 6, hurricanes, the worst seasonal tradition. Every summer, Floridians have the same conversation. Is this storm bad enough to evacuate, or do we just buy Doritos and hope for the best? Hurricanes are a tradition, a terrible, stressful, plywood buying tradition. Newcomers panic, locals shrug like they're ordering pizza, which is very similar to what happens in California with earthquakes. Newcomers lose their frickin' mind. Californians, they just kind of hold on to whatever they're near and ride it out. The storm culture is wild. Stores sell out of water, batteries, and snacks at the speed of light. Some people tape their windows, others simply say, "It'll probably miss us," and go back to watching TV. There's no middle ground. When a hurricane does hit, it's not fun. Roofs leak, trees fall, power disappears, and suddenly you're sitting in the dark listening to the wind make sounds that belong in a horror movie. And after the storm, mosquitoes multiply and race into your neighborhood like it's a Black Friday event. If you've never been through a hurricane, imagine living in a place where nature sends you an annual reminder notice that you should have gotten better insurance. Number 5, the wildlife isn't shy. Now, I know we talked about insects and lizards. This is a little bit different. Florida wildlife has no boundaries. Alligators wander golf courses like they're checking tee times. You'll occasionally see one strolling through the neighborhood like they're looking for a Zillow listing. Newcomers always panic. Floridians don't even look up unless the gator starts ringing doorbells. Then there's the birds. Big birds. Birds that have no fear and will absolutely steal your sandwich. Sandhill cranes especially walk around like they own the HOA. They scream loudly, block traffic, and stare at you like you're inconveniencing them. Manatees float through the water like gentle aquatic marshmallows. Dolphins pop up just to remind you that the ocean is cooler than you. And snakes, just assume there's one somewhere in your yard at all times. Welcome to Florida. If you're squeamish about wildlife, Florida is going to test your soul. This state is basically an open-air zoo where half the animals want to be your neighbor and the other half want you as lunch. Number 4, the rainy season isn't just rain, it's a mood swing. Florida rain does not politely ease in. It shows up like it's trying to win an award for the most dramatic weather event. 1 second it's sunny, the next it's raining so hard that you can't see your car from your front door. And 5 minutes later, sunshine again like nothing ever happened. Weather here has the emotional stability of a soap opera character. The rain piles up pretty fast here too. Streets flood, parking lots turn into tiny lakes. Your shoes, they will not survive. Umbrellas are useless because the rain hits sideways like it's got a grudge. Then there's the thunder. Florida thunder sounds like the sky tripping over itself. Newcomers jump, locals barely notice unless the power flickers and interrupts their show. You can dress for weather or you could dress for rain. You cannot dress for both. Florida's rainy season is just the state reminding you who's in charge. Number 3, Florida man is real and he has cousins. The jokes about Florida man aren't exaggerations, they're documentaries. Every day the news drops some new headline that reads like a satire. Some of my favorites: Florida man arrested for pooping on possum in public. That's not a tongue twister, that's a true event. Or Florida man dressed like a banana is charged with whipping out his banana. Here's a classic. Florida man gets beat up by the Easter Bunny. And of course, Florida man breaks into home, sucks on sleeping man's toes. Good times in Florida. And it's not just the Florida man stories, it's just weird in Florida. Go to a bar, go to a beach, go to a small town, even go to an HOA meeting. These are all different. It's like living inside the world's most entertaining sitcom, except you're not sure who the writer is anymore. Number 2, the job market. People move to Florida imagining steady work and sunny commutes. Then they get there and realize that half the jobs involve tourism, theme parks, or service industries where your paycheck fluctuates like a stock chart. Sure, cities like Miami, Orlando, and Tampa have solid career opportunities if your resume reads like a tech bro LinkedIn page. The industries that do pay well are competitive, and the ones that don't pay well, they pay so little you'll wonder if they typed your paycheck in the wrong currency. Newcomers scroll job listings like they're reading obituaries for their financial goals. Remote workers do great here, but only if their employer is based somewhere sane and not paying Florida wages. Otherwise, you get stuck in a loop where you love the weather, but you hate your bank account. If you move here expecting Silicon Valley money with beach town lifestyle, the job market is going to slap that dream right out of your mouth. All right, before we get to number 1, if you're thinking about moving to Florida or any state in the US, despite my warnings, there's a link for Home and Money in the description area below. They can get you in touch with a real estate agent anywhere in the country. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, the people who live here will tell you it's paradise, even when it's not. The biggest truth about living in Florida is this: Floridians defend their state with religious intensity. They love the place, they adore it. They will argue with a straight face that 112-degree heat isn't that bad, and hurricanes build character. You'll hear the phrase, "it's a lifestyle," said with the same tone people use for cult recruitment brochures. Floridians will brag about the beaches, the sunsets, the fishing, the food, the theme parks, the lack of income tax, the palm trees, the nightlife, and yes, the gators. They'll brag about them. They speak with passion, with conviction, with the kind of loyalty usually reserved for sports teams and grandparents. Why? Because Florida gets under your skin. After a while, you'll stop noticing the chaos and start appreciating the weird charm of it all. The warm evenings, the ocean breeze, the tropical plants, the wildlife wandering by like it's normal. You start thinking, you know what? This isn't that bad. And that's the truth nobody tells you. Florida is a mess, a humid, dramatic, unpredictable mess. But it's their mess. And if you stay long enough, you'll probably start defending it too, right before complaining about it again. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.